Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, we do have the game for you here as promised against Atlanta. Rivals, it's going to be the first sort of rival game that we're going to be showing you in this Noisy Napoli series. And hopefully we can perform well, because as you can tell, the league's running away from us. And out of all the teams in the world, or in the Serie A at least, we did not expect Cagliari to be the ones who are top of the league, ahead of Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Roma, Lazio, Fiorentina, Napoli, Verona as well. I mean, it's incredible what they've done so far. It doesn't look like they've had too many tough games. No, actually they've had their fair share actually. Torino, Sampdoria, ourselves, they've beaten us as well, Roma. So maybe this is the real deal. It's still only 9 games, but yeah, I mean, they're doing incredibly well. Only lost to Verona and AC Milan. That's fair play to them. Hopefully we can turn that round today. Well, not turn around their fortunes, but rather turn around ours. Atlanta are currently in the relegation zone. We should easily defeat them. But of course, this is why the Serie A's competition is so interesting to us, is because anyone can beat anyone. Hopefully we can turn around our own results. We're only 13 points. We're sort of playing like as if we're a mid-table team. 3 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses is not good enough. And we're going to have to go on a nice little unbeaten run, or a winning run for that matter, to actually turn this all around and actually get into at least the Champions League spots, if not challenge for the title. We're not too far away though, 8 points from Cagliari, and it's just been 9 games played. There's still another 29 to go, so yeah, plenty of time to make up for it, and hopefully we can start here today. So since the last episode that we showed you, which was against Fiorentina, we lost to PSG. You can kind of understand that we're away from home. Udinese was a 1-1 draw, but Emmanuel Badu got sent off for them, and you'd think that we'd go on to win the game, but Udinese did well to hold on to that result. Lazio is just poor performance all round, 3-1 defeat, no excuses. Just a terrible loss. And Dynamo Kiev is a very similar result, and this type of match actually handed them the group, if I'm not mistaken, so we may not even qualify out of our group stage. Of course, it's still early, we can turn it around again just like the league, but we'll have to perform well against Club Brugge again, but also we'll have to defeat Dynamo Kiev. And if we can get another draw, or not another draw, if we can get a draw out of PSG, then maybe we can sneak by in the second spot. Where does that leave us with? That leaves us with Inter. 2-2. We changed our tactics a little bit, and we'll discuss that today. I've actually tweaked it a little bit more since that Inter game. But thankfully, the tweaks that we made just before the Inter game helped us get this draw here. When Inter went 2-0 up, we managed to actually end up getting a draw. So that was kind of a good comeback there. But we were at home, so it was kind of disappointing. But hopefully now we can turn our fortunes around. It's really confusing, to be honest. I mean, we started off the season great, conceded 1 goal, scored, that's 4 there, 7, 11 goals, and just conceded 2 in 4 games. And somehow we've just gone on a terrible little result here. Run of form, and maybe we can turn from here onwards a bunch of greens. That would be perfect. But yeah, in terms of the tactical tweaks, so the 4-2-3-1 we're playing with is the same as before. The only change we've made is in the central midfield, playing as a deep line playmaker on support for Zielinski. Alan's a ball-winning midfielder on defend duty. We've got Maggio as a fullback on attack, and Strinic as a wing-back on support. And there we go, our little double pivot here that will hopefully give us some nice solidity in our team so that we're not too exposed. We've also got the 4-2-3-1 defensive midfield combination. We're still playing on control. We've switched our team shape. I think I tried fluid for a little bit just to see if that would work, but apparently it didn't, so we went back to structured. I've also gotten rid of the work ball into the box tactic. I feel like that kind of stops some of our players from taking on their long shots, and some of our players are capable of taking some good long shots, so it didn't make too much sense. It made more sense to actually try and retain possession so that no one does anything silly, pass stupidly or anything of that sort. So those are the tweaks that we've made, and that way we'll have both our fullbacks getting up fairly forward. The wingback on support does get quite high up, to be honest. Aims to provide angle through balls from out wide, although still crosses when the opportunity arises. And of course, their natural instinct is to get forward, because they usually play with no wing support, and inside forward kind of is like that. I mean, they do start out wide, but they cut inside, so hopefully Strinch can get beyond him. And yeah, we've got the fullback on attack here as well, so both fullbacks should get high up. Wingers on either flank should be performing well with their combinations. And we've also got Allen and Zielinski on ball wing midfield on the defend, and deep line playmaker on support to hold that midfield down. So the 4-2-3-1 is just when we need to be a bit more defensive, but we're not going crazy defensive. It's just to try and hold things, also, maybe retain possession a little bit more in the middle of the midfield. And that's kind of it. The 4-4-1-1 we're going with is just for countering reasons. I feel like the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-2-3 DM wide both don't necessarily suit countering too well. I think the 4-2-3-1 DM wide is kind of okay with countering, but I feel like maybe we can just see if we can get the 4-4-1-1. I think that suits it a little bit more. If we feel like this doesn't do too good of a job as a countering. I know 4-1-4-1 can help. You can counter pretty quickly. So we'll be hoping to do the same with the more attacking version of that formation. But if that doesn't work out, we'll go back to a 4-2-3-1 formation here on counter. It's just we're giving ourselves alternatives, different formations to work with, and see if there's anything that can actually seriously kick us on. But for today, we'll stay with a 4-2-3-1, the normal one, until Zielinski at least can learn his defensive midfield role a little bit better. And plus, I think we're favourites for today's game, so there's no need to start off on the counter. Dior is suspended, so we'll take him off. And that's kind of all the updates that are necessary. We're starting off with this team, and hopefully they're good enough to get the result. I think I've struggled a little bit lately with the team talks. I'm not sure if I'm making any mistakes, but just to be sure, I want to see if my assistant manager is any good on it. He's got decent man management, his personality is driven, he should be able to deal with our players. He's media friendly as well, so he should be able to deal with our players relatively well when it comes to team talk. So maybe I'll consider giving him that responsibility and see if that will improve results as well. We'll actually try it out today. I'll give him the role today and see if he can get a good performance out of our players. So 4-2-3-1, Napoli versus Atlanta. We are away from home. So let's hope we can get the 3 points that I need to turn it around. Alright, so we'll just let the players warm up. And there you go. Favourites apparently. Evens only though. So maybe, I mean the table, no one else has played, so it looks like it's just us. Let's try and get our 3 points. Okay, so they're playing incredibly defensive. 5 at the back really, and then they've got the 2 defensive midfielders, and they'll be hoping to counter without a doubt. I mean, you can tell they're countering just by how heavy sided they are on this bit and then this bit. You're going to expect the striker to like hold up the ball and whatnot. It's a bit weird. He's more attacking than Milik, who's on complete forward on support. So I reckon he's not even on the support duty. That's interesting. I always feel like when you play a lone striker, they should always be on a support duty. Having said that, I feel like the advanced forward on attack duty can do a reasonable job as well. He kind of supports the players a bit better. I mean, I'm still exploring that type of tactic. Okay, so I think our assistant manager's name is Calzona. I mean, how much more Italian can that get? Okay, it is Calzona, so let's let him manage the team talk. Okay, apparently he's stressed some people out, which is a bit weird, because all he said it calmly as well, is go out there and give these fans the money's worth. But apparently not enough. I can't get him to do the... Alright, well, I'll just do this then. I've never really left my assistant manager to do the talking. But anyways, there we go. We're going to kick off. We can skip this little bit. Probably shook hands with the opposition manager. Never like to see my 3D version of myself do that. But I guess it's part of the game. I just don't like how friendly it looks. Either way, we've got the ball and we're playing... Do we have the ball? We don't actually have the ball, do we? We're playing in white, actually. And Atlanta are on the attack, and they've almost scored there. Did that bounce off the... Did that really bounce off the crossbar? Am I seeing things? I feel like that flew into the stadium, but still came back onto the pitch, and that was allowed to be played on. Anyways, Atlanta having a really good start. And again, it hits the post this time. But they're getting really close to getting an early goal here. and my players are not fired up for this game by the looks of things. Anyways, still early and we didn't concede, so that's a good thing. Hopefully we can try and get some more possession of the game, or more control of the game, but apparently not. Having said that though, Alan's leading the counter-attack, ball-winning midfielder. What can he do in his new little role here? Finds Insigne, who goes back to Koulibaly, plays the safe option, and Zielinski's on the ball here as a deep-line playmaker. So what I like about the ball-winning midfielder on defend duty and the deep-line playmaker on support duty combination is the ball-winning midfielder, in the instruction or description of their role, it says that they, on defend duty, they play the simple pass to a more creative player. I'm too distracted by this game here. Alright, well, either way. So yeah, they lay off the ball to a more creative player, which would mean the deep line playmaker on support duty. So it suits us perfectly. He wins the ball and then he just lays it off to deep line playmaker who can find the player really easily. I feel like the central midfield on defend duty might hold on to the ball a bit more. The good thing as well, in the description, it says the ball in a midfielder on defend duty, or even just in general, it needs to have the technical skills and ability to actually play a possession-based, it doesn't say possession-based tactic, but they need to be good on the ball basically and be able to create chances at the same time. So it's good to see that, because that's exactly what we're looking for. It looks like the team shape's sorted a little bit better. We're holding on to possession a bit better as well, but it looks like we're not really creating anything of note. They're keeping us, you know, they're retaining us quite well, and they're hitting us on the counter really well as well. So we might consider switching into a 4-2-3-1 ourselves, a defensive one at least. That way we're not countered on quite easily, because I mean all of these shots that Atlanta have had, and even the half chances, all through being countered at. We're being countered ridiculously, and it feels like a weakness that I can't seem to get out of the team. I'm actually going to have a quick look at my centre backs. I knew it, but it doesn't look like either of them are slow. So we're just getting countered horribly out wide, and that may have to do with how attacking our fullback. So I've played 4-2-3-1s a ridiculous amount of times before though. I think I'll keep it as is, attacking as is. We're growing into the game a bit more, so I don't feel like switching to defensive combination will help just yet. Maybe when I see a bit more solid evidence of us getting destroyed on the counter. We do need to score anyways, so that's why I'm tempted to stay on the 4-2-3-1, the more attacking version at least. But yeah, we haven't had a single highlight go our way, and that's disappointing. We've, I think retained possession is good, but maybe we're keeping the ball a bit too much. Anyways, see what Cazorla will say. Pretty much just says the same thing he did, but we'll let him take the individual team talks as well. Alright, well, no serious action from my teammates. I think I'd rather, from my teammates, my players rather. Yeah, I think I'd rather switch back to being in charge of team talks. I think I got more of a reaction than he did, to be honest. Anyways, our winger's on the ball and he cuts inside. I think his instructions tell him to stay out wide, and even his, you know, he moves into channels, he doesn't cut inside. It's a bit weird, he tends to do that more often than a natural winger might do. Milik is having a poor game, that might explain a lot of our struggles in front of goal. 60th minute here though, nothing created, not performing quite well, so I'm going to take off Milik. I think I'll switch to a 4-2-3-1 with defensive midfield position, see if that helps the team at all, but no one seriously needs to be taken off other than Milik. And well, controlling possession, that's fine, but I feel like I don't really care about possession that much. I care more about shots. Well, to be honest, I just care about clear-cut chances. I feel like when I set up a tactic that will help create chances for my team, that's sorted. Whether they finish them up or not, that's kind of their issue. That's not something I can control. I can't control whether my players finish a shot, you know, finish a chance or not. That's kind of up to them if they have poor finishing or if they're just bad in morale or any of that business. But if I'm not even creating the chances for them, that's on the manager really. So that's where I have to take responsibility. But anyways, we'll take off Cerini, ruining his name, but it's okay. And I think tempted to take off Alan, but we don't even have his replacement on the bench. So what we'll do is we'll take off the deep line playmaker, which makes a bit more sense. Maybe Jorginho, more comfortable in that deep line playmaker role, can create something better for us than we've seen so far. But yeah, I mean, so this game's been very disappointing. Easily one of the most disappointing games. I mean, we're getting outplayed by Atlanta, who are in relegation zone, and we haven't had a single shot on target in 18 minutes time. I'm gonna go into attacking and see if that helps. But this is poor from all departments in my team. I'm even tempted to go into the 4-4-1-1 counter. Okay, so attacking has helped. We finally got our first clear-cut chance. Oh, there you go. We're having a bunch of shots now, but apparently control wasn't the right way to go. But it looks like we'll just get a draw. And we're away from home, so it's a little bit okay, but not so much because we should have won that. Yeah, I'm going to be in charge of team talks from now on. Well, let's let him finish off this bit. Okay, so he tore them off. Good, because that's what I was going to do. And we've gone up to 8th, so that's improvement. But we will definitely need to step up our game. I'm hoping my players can get adjusted quickly to the tactics as well, because they still haven't completely gotten fluid in terms of that. So maybe that's what explains the first few good results, and then afterwards, when they're still getting used to the tactics, they struggled. But yeah, hopefully from once they get adjusted and they're okay with it, then maybe performances go upwards. I might even get rid of retained possession. I feel like that was playing too safe. But let's see how it goes as we go on. Maybe we'll continue to tweak. But yeah, in terms of when we'll be back, let's have a look at the schedule. Palermo would be an interesting one. They're in the Europa League spot right now, and having said that, it looks like we would have to beat them to get into that position. Juventus is a very interesting game to show you as well. Maybe we'll do that. We'll actually probably show you Juventus. So we only have 3 games, 2 in the Serie A. Hopefully we're in a better position by then. But if we do defeat Juventus, then that puts us in a great position as well. But anyways, I think that'll be all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then of course, please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, guys, thank you all very, very much for watching.